Hello, and welcome to a weekend reading vlog. Today is Friday, and I have officially finished my GRE. I just came back from it, so to celebrate, I am going to take more of a break this weekend and try and focus a little bit more on reading because I have not been reading at all recently, which makes sense because I was studying for my GRE. But now that it's over, I want to make sure I actually get some reading done this weekend, especially because there are two readathons that I'm going to be participating in. The first one is Dewey's 24-hour readathon, which takes place tomorrow, October 26th, the Saturday. And then also eBookathon starts on the Sunday, October 27th. So I will hopefully be able to participate in both of those. I do still plan to get some work done on my PhD applications this weekend, so I'll be alternating between reading and working. But for tonight, I think I'm just going to take a break from everything and just read, watch some YouTube, maybe paint. We'll see. I think after 4 hours of testing, I deserve a little bit of a break for one night at least. So to start with, I'm going to be reading Seven Blades in Black, which I just realized it's going to be very hard to pick up. Seven Blades in Black by Sam Sykes. This is the book I'm currently reading. I am not very far in it, which is not good because this is the Sword and Laser book club pick for October, and October is almost over. And I'm like nowhere near done with this book. I was hoping that the audiobook would help me get through this book, but I find that the narrator's voice is way too posh for this character, so it's really hard to listen to. So I will probably be reading this physically, which means I need to get a move on if I want to actually get this done before the end of the month. I don't know if that's going to happen, especially with eBookathon coming up, because this is obviously not an ebook, so it's not on my eBookathon TBR, and I don't know. We'll see how I manage to balance everything. We'll find out. But for tonight, I will be reading this. Also for Dewey's 24-hour readathon tomorrow, I will most likely be reading this because I don't think I'm going to finish it in one night. There are 650 pages, and I am on... Why does this not have a page number? 167, so quite a bit to go. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but I'm finding it so hard to keep track of things in this book. I don't always know what certain descriptions are referring to. Like, there's a name in here, Red Cloud, that I didn't know referred to like a single person, and I didn't know that it was a woman until like 3 paragraphs down. It's very vague. I also find that it's written in a lot of sentence fragments, so many sentence fragments that actually like really annoy me. But in addition to just being annoying and sounding really conceited, they also just make it so much harder to follow what's actually being said, which is why obviously sentence fragments aren't good English. That was not good English. Why they aren't proper English. Because then whatever you're talking about isn't clear. And so I'm finding that is happening quite a lot. In addition, just the tone of voice that this character has, it's very similar to my experience with the Trail of Lightning, where the main character is just so overconfident and full of themselves that I just end up rolling my eyes. This one's even worse. So she's a very grating character, and that also makes the story grating sometimes because she's the narrator for parts of it, which means you're being told it from her point of view, and it has her specific way of speaking that is really full of herself. I can't get on board with these characters who are overconfident to the point that they think they're like the best thing that ever happened. So I'm really struggling with the writing in this book. I mean, there's like scenes where it's like, oh, the sky was blue. Next line. And that's when I knew we were That's just not good writing. It just makes me cringe. So that's my current evaluation of this book. I'm getting very confused, and I don't like the main character, and I don't like the tone of the narration. So far, not so good. is the 24-hour readathon, and I have not read a single word. It's like 5 p.m., by the way. So that needs to change. I'm going to try and participate in a reading sprint. I've never actually done like a true reading sprint before, so maybe that'll actually get me to read, because I haven't done any. To be fair, it's been a pretty relaxing Saturday anyway, which also means I haven't done any work on my PhD applications, which is a whole nother problem. One thing at a time. I swear these pronouns are not attached to anything, and it's making it so confusing. She is in a room with two people, a girl and a guy, and she's talking to one of them. The girl, apparently it says alarm crossed her face, and then there's followed by dialogue, so I'm assuming the girl says that. Then the next paragraph, the main character is referring to a him, and she couldn't hear him. And then apparently that refers to her gun, and then she's looking at the guy and responding to the girl, but looking at the guy, and I'm so confused. I don't know what's happening, and this is not organized very well. So I don't know if it's just me not reading it properly, or if it's just like actually just written so weird. I don't know. I'm struggling with this book. Have not read again today. I completely failed yesterday's readathon, like miserably. I think I read less than 50 pages. I think it's just this book. I really don't think I like this book. In theory, it's interesting, and the world is interesting. It's really big. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of mystery that I want to find out, but I can't get over this writing style, and I can't get over this tone. It's driving me insane. With Trail of Lightning, I didn't like the tone at all, but I was able to push through it because it's so short. This is not short. I am 200 pages in, and there's still so much to go, and I don't know if I can do it, so I'm debating DNFing it. But I might also just try and listen to the audiobook at work, though I have trouble with this audiobook too, so I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But today is the official start of eBookathon. I have not opened any of my ebooks, but I think I might give one of them a try. Probably the one that I'm least likely to like, which would be, what's it called? Lion Witch? I think that's it. So I might try the first chapter and see if I want to continue on that either, because that one's also possible that I might DNF. It is no longer the weekend. I just got back from work. It's Monday. Yesterday ended up being a lot more busy than I anticipated it would. I ended up spending like most of my day out at restaurants with various friends, so I didn't really have much time for reading, and I did absolutely no work on my PhD applications, but that's a whole different problem. I did, however, start A Lying Witch by Odette Bell, and I am going to DNF it as I anticipated. I got 30% of the way through, which sounds impressive, but I wasn't actually reading for that long. It's just a very short book. Some of the issues that I'm having with it are just the tone and the writing. I keep having problems with tones of books for some reason. It's not really so much the tone in this one, it's just the writing itself. It's very clunky and cheesy. You can tell that it's not a very experienced writer. Same with the editing. The pacing is very, very off. Literally in that first 35% of the book, we just got introduced to all of the characters and the plot point that was brought up in the synopsis. So that's a little bit too long of an introduction time, and there was like one scene that went on absolutely forever. They kept going back and forth and saying the exact same things, and it was just very ridiculous, and I was like, no, I don't think I want to put myself through this. Even though it is really short and I could finish it really quickly, I don't want to spend the time to do that, because in addition to like the writing being very clunky, the whole storyline is also pretty cheesy, and I really didn't like the guy who apparently is supposed to be like the love interest, but he's just like literally was just trying to kill her. Then there was nothing redeeming about it at all. Like, she would constantly be making note of like how handsome he is, and oh, his arms, he's crossing his arms again, and all of this stuff. And I could see nothing appealing about him other than apparently his looks. His personality is not great, and nothing really follows properly, so I'm just gonna give up. I think it's just the writer who's not as experienced as she could be, which makes me worried about the other book from her that I have on my TBR for eBookathon. I did start reading that. I'm only like 9 pages into that, so I can't tell. So far, it started very similar. I didn't even say what it was. It's Time of Kings by Odette C. Bell. And they've started pretty similarly with like this prologue of some dramatic event, and then they go into normal life in the first chapter. But again, I haven't even like gotten past the first chapter in that one, so I'm not sure about that. I don't know what order they came out in, so I'm not sure if A Time of Kings is going to be after A Lying Witch. I'm hoping it is, because normally that means the author has improved some. And if she hasn't in this book, then I will probably be DNFing it as well, even though it's even shorter than the first book, and I could probably finish it really quickly. I just don't want to spend my time reading something that is pretty mediocre. Which brings up the point of the Seven Blades in Black by Sam Sykes, which I don't even have. It's like back on my bookshelf because I'm not forcing myself to read that right now. I still haven't decided if I want to DNF that or not. I'm leaning towards it just because the tone is so annoying and it's so long as well. But I'm not making an official decision on that yet. I'm wondering if after this week of Ebookathon, where I'm reading all of these self-published ebooks, if they're just going to be so bad that my standard is lowered and I'm actually going to be fine with reading Seven Blades in Black. I feel like that may happen, which would be very interesting, but I don't know. For now, I'm just putting it aside. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to focus on this readathon first, and then I'll revisit that later on, probably. But yeah, since the weekend is over, that is the end of this weekend reading vlog. Let me know if you like these shorter vlog style videos. I know a lot of my vlogs are very long, and that's because they tend to cover like a longer range of time. So if you like that style more, let me know. If you like this weekend reading vlog and want me to do it more, let me know that as well, and I will see you later. Bye.